Welcome back to my channel. My name is Jacob and I'm attempting to become the youngest German-speaking person to sail around the world solo. But not taking the easy route, instead going around the legendary Cape Horn. Over the last several years, sailing vessel Wolf was prepared for this voyage. Welcome back. I've been at anchor in front of Bayona for 3 days now, and after spending more time than planned here in Galicia, it is time to make proper miles again and depart on the second try, getting to the Canary Islands, 800 nautical miles south. Okay, welcome back to a new video. So I'm still here at anchor now in front of Bayona, and I'm just about heaving the anchor now, and then now the second try after the first try from France and having to divert into Buoys here in Spain because of the engine problems, which we fixed, luckily. I hope so, at least. It is now on to really leave Europe behind here to the Canaries. Before I heave my anchor, the guy from the German boat next to me who recognized me came over and brought me a grapefruit as a present. So absolutely amazing. I just love meeting like-minded people, especially in sailing. They're always so amazing. Also, this Portuguese sailing yacht with a guy named Luis on board came by to say hi. But now it's time to get going. As the wind picks up to 50 knots, it is quite a job manually heaving my anchor up. And before I finally set off, I stopped at the fuel station to top off Wolf's diesel tank. Okay, so the harbour master said I should call somebody, don't know where, whom, on channel 9 here on the radio. So let's try that. Puerto de Bayona. This is sailing vessel Wolf on channel 09, over.
Station calling Marina Bayona. Please
Okay, turns out he saw me, he just knocked on the boat there, but at least I know that the radio is working. That's great. With a full fuel tank and a perfect weather forecast for the next days, I cast off the lines and set sails. Before I can turn south, we have to take our way upwind out of the bay. The fortress of Bayona, at the exit of the bay, built in the 12th century, was originally constructed to protect the coast from invasions. In the 20th century, the historic site was transformed into a luxury hotel. Now we've reached the point around the landmark here, where we can turn south, or go off the wind about 90 degrees and go on a broad reach. So let's do that. So good evening here. We're going into the first night now at sea, and I just got the mainsail down because we're basically going straight downwind and we were overpowered anyways. It is like 20-25 knots or something from the back here, and with the full mainsail up and the full Genoa we were just overpowered. Anyway, so tonight there will not be much sleep. First because I need to get used to it again. Couldn't sleep much anyways, and secondly we are still near the coast here, so I will spend the night up in the cockpit here with a few cups of coffee, and bought these things. Those are like cakes, don't really know, cakes. Watching the AIS and radar is really the main entertainment in such nights as today, and we have the Eleanor of London, I think. Eleanor of London next to us. Sailboat. Whoops. Sailboat. 26 meters long. Just somewhere on our port side there. So I'm not really daring to go to sleep now, even for just 10 minutes. Just too close to land for that, to be honest. So a lot of coffee it is tonight. So now it's getting interesting here. I have 3 ships in front of me, I think Portuguese fishing vessels, my guess. Don't know, because they are changing their course all the time and only fishing vessels usually do that. So absolutely definitely no sleeping tonight. So here they are, all 3 in the AIS, the one on the right. On the outer side is the cargo vessel. I'm actually seeing that visually over there, and the other 2 I have no idea. And I also have all 3 on the radar here. In the meantime, the mainsail is also set again. I just did that an hour ago. Because we're still close to shore and there's a lot of fishing traffic, the first night doesn't allow for sleep, so I spent the night watching the instruments and fine trimming the sails until the sun finally rises. Okay, good morning from day 2, and the day already started off pretty shitty. So yeah, there are 2 main problems. The first problem is, or was, that the sailback of my Janakar, which is normally on the foredeck, one fitting broke away from it, with which it is secured to the deck. Luckily I noticed it, and I was dragging it in the water, just hanging on that one carabiner here. Yeah, that's not that big of a problem. The other big problem is that I have a problem with the autopilot. So the main problem was when I was on starboard tack, like now, the autopilot was switching on and off by itself, and when I wanted to put it in auto mode, it showed no text with no data. So on the port tack, it's interestingly enough worked without problems. So I went on port tack now and tried to get closer to land here, which I did, in case it fails completely and I have to steer manually. So a wind steering system is already on its way to Santa Cruz on Tenerife. So until there, the autopilot has to make it as a main self-steering system. As the problem with the autopilot continues to occur, I have no other choice than diverting into Porto while I'm still near the coast here. And also the wind picked up a lot today, so I'm in the second reef now and have the Genoa furled in a bit, and we're going upwind now basically. But it's amazing, I'm really noticing that with myself in situations like these. In the past I would have freaked out, would be nervous, not scared but nervous, just angry, whatever. And now I'm just, yeah, it is what it is. Can't change it. I can go into Porto now. Can't change it. Can't magically make the autopilot work again. So why worry about something when you can't do anything about it? So I have to clean up here below deck a bit. That was a wild upwind ride towards the coast here. Now it's better. And everything flew around in here. So the Janakar, which is normally on the foredeck, has its place now below the saloon table here. And because it's wet, I've dragged it alongside the boat. There is some water on the floor now here. After tacking upwind for 4 hours and hand steering when Wolf is sailing on starboard tack, the wind dies down as we get close to the coast, so I switch on the engine and motor the last 8 miles into Porto. It is really a game of luck. I just passed one of those weird fishing things again, which you absolutely don't see at night, and even at day it's often pretty much invisible. Those are like just buoys, small buoys, floating ones, some even black or white, not even some orange color or something. No idea what is below there, probably some fish cage or something. And no idea what happens when I accidentally go over one, especially with the engine running. As I didn't plan to stop in Portugal, I have to enter without flying the Portuguese courtesy flag. But yeah, anyways, welcome to Portugal.
Yes, this is Marina Porto Portugal.
I would like to enter the marina for one night. I am a sailing vessel, length 9.2 meters over.
Yes, no problem, you can get in over.
Lisbon is the harbour district of the city of Porto, which has a huge history in seafaring, like the golden age of discoveries, where shipyards from Porto played a major contribution to missions like the discovery of America through Christopher Columbus. So I'm leaving today in the afternoon, and I'm just using the time here to reseal the inspection thing here on the water tank, because I always have a bit of water in the bilge, and the interesting thing is that it's only at the beginning of a trip and then it stays the same. And that after Canary I discovered the cause, but didn't fix it until now. That side here of the ceiling wasn't watertight, so when the tank was full pretty much to the brim, water came splashing out basically on this side and making its way into the bilge. So I think I've worked out a solution for that here. I've basically got the old ceiling, like this is like a band here which you just put in between the two parts, but it is too big, so the thing here is just way too far apart from the tank, and I'm just gonna screw that on now and put some press some Sikaflex into there. The two things which also probably fix broken relationships: cable ties and Sikaflex. I visit the marine store next to the marina to get some Sikaflex to finish the job. Okay, got one. Amazing. There's a little store in the corner right next to the marina there. World of Water or World on Water or something. And it has pretty much everything. It's just a little tiny store, but it has basically everything, and if it doesn't have that, it can order it. And such a friendly lady at the counter, which owns the store. Amazing. After a closer inspection of the Autopilot, I can't find any errors which could have resulted in the problems we had earlier, so I just decide to leave and see what happens. During my short stay here, I also meet this amazing guy, Ricardo. He is Portuguese and has a boat here in the marina, and gives me the pennant of their local sailing club to take around the world and give back to him when I come by here again. Amigos de Vela, sorry for the mispronunciation probably, is the name of their club and means Friends of Sailing, translated into English. I also meet these amazing people. They own the boat next to Wolf, and when I tell them that I'm sailing to Brazil, they were absolutely amazed, as they are Brazilians. So I was just at the beach, at the beach house, and came back to the boat here. And look what I found here. This bottle of wine. So that bottle of wine, a Portuguese wine. I don't have much clue of wine, to be honest, but that is a Portuguese wine from Ricardo. Amazing. He also wrote something on it. Jakob, fair winds and good luck on for your journey. Lakeshas. I'm so sorry if I'm pronouncing the town here wrongly. Lakeshas, the date of today, and Ricardo. Thank you so much. That is so amazing. Absolutely amazing. I'm out of words, to be honest. So that is a good bottle of wine, and I will keep that as a reward when I anchor on La Graciosa on the Canaries. I'll sip a glass of that then. Thank you so much, Ricardo. Absolutely amazing. Bye. While I'm docking off, there are suddenly 4 people, including Ricardo on the pontoon, wishing me farewell.
Bye bye. Okay. Bye bye, Seko.
Okay. Bye bye.
See you. Okay, Jacob. Ciao. Bye bye. See you. Yeah. Thank you. Bye bye.
After I've maneuvered Wolf out of the marina, it gets serious again. But the stay here has really brought my mood up, and it's just absolutely incredible to meet like-minded people. And of course, the day before yesterday, there was no wind forecasted and there was wind. And now there is wind forecasted and there is no wind. I don't even say anything anymore. First I had Lisbon only as a backup port on the way to the Canaries if the autopilot makes problems again, but I soon decide to stop one last time in Europe to visit the capital of Portugal. After getting the sails up, I soon have to switch the engine on again as the wind does exactly the opposite as forecasted. But as long as I'm near the coast here, I'm calling my dad now at home. As long as I have mobile connection. Du, ich wollte nur Bescheid sagen, ich bin unterwegs jetzt. After the first hour on the engine, the wind finally decides to pick up a tiny bit again. So I try to get on the sail again and soon spot my good old friends again. It's just madness with those fishing buoys. We're just passing the one again, and there just another one behind what was hidden behind the Genoa there, and another one which I just saw for it was just below deck for 1 minute and 5 of them or something just in a line there. I'm still navigating wolf around cargo vessels here, so all those buoys are in the middle of a shipping area basically. After motor sailing the last 2 hours, the wind finally barely allows to switch off the engine as we progress south. But the northerly winds are still too weak to run directly downwind, so we have to jibe along the coast. After the sun has set, I get more and more nervous, as unfriendly looking clouds have built up over the last hours, and also the radar image doesn't really calm my nerves, as they are now also getting more and more visible on there. So what is interesting here, we have a huge cloud system in front of us, and it's also appearing on the radar here, that one, about 9.7 nautical miles in front of us. And I just saw a lightning go down there, a single one, a few minutes ago. So hopefully that's not developing into a thunderstorm cell or something like that. I really don't need and want that right now. I had the target trails now running for a few minutes, which show me how the radar echo is moving basically. And you probably can't see it here well on the camera, the white thing. And the cloud seems like it is moving parallel to the coast to the north here. So it should not, theoretically, I hope so, should not hit us. Let's see. The last thing I need now is lightning, as I'm too close to shore to go below deck until it's over. When it suddenly starts to rain, I begin to prepare for the worst. So I'm going slalom between cloud cells here now, and I just saw another lightning and thunder right to the right of us, to starboard. And that is this huge thunder system here. And that is that huge thunder system here. To the left on the radar is the coastline. And to the right side here, there is nothing. There's open Atlantic Ocean, and that is a huge, another lightning. And that is a huge lightning cell, cloud, whatever here. Those few points are cargo vessels which are at anchor. And I'm basically trying to go a bit closer to shore now to avoid the worst here of it. So go a bit to the left and make my way somewhere around here. That is just craziness! Absolute craziness! I'm not really afraid of anything in sailing, but lightning is something, yeah, I don't want to have it. First it looked like my plan of keeping Wolf and me east of the cell using the radar worked out, but now we're directly in it. We are basically right in the middle of it now. We are right in that or below that cloud. completely. I wanted to go easterly around it, between the coast and the cloud, but also the cloud had that plan going east. It's raining, not that much lightning until now, only one in the thunder. I hope that stays so. I hope that stays so. Visibility is now 0 and I can only watch the chart plotter, AIS and radar below deck. We're about 4 miles off the coast here now, which means there is still a probability to come across those fishing buoys, which is my worst fear right now with the engine running. Okay, good morning. So day 2 now, and that night was that thunder cell was interesting, but the rest of the night was pretty chill. I was sleeping in 10-minute intervals now below deck. It was pretty good. Now the sun is slowly rising and we're just passing another rain cloud, as you can probably hear. I've went a bit under engine at night and a bit under sail, a mix of both. And now the wind is really picking up here with sails. Ooh, that was a wind gust from the rain cloud up here. We're just nearly through it now, according to the radar. But yeah, we're on a pretty much southerly course now towards Lisbon. And yeah, I'll see if I'm going into Lisbon or continuing to the Canaries. I'll probably have to refuel because I've used nearly a half of my diesel fuel until now. Let's see. We have 0900 now and I have the jetty up. If you can see it, no you can't see it. Now you can see it. Set the generator about half an hour ago and we are flying through the water with 6.5 knots here now towards Lisbon. Absolutely amazing. I just have to be very careful. There are rain cells, yeah, right now. Rain cells coming over here. I think I have to get it down quickly now. It looks like a lot of wind. And got it down here again on the foredeck in a huge wind gust. That went way smoother than I expected. The thing with working with the generator is really getting into my hands now. I think I can pack it away anyways. I had it up for half an hour now because I was sailing. It was a bit of morning sport. But I think the wind is too strong now for the rest of the day anyways for the generator. It is actually time to go into the first reef now. I just discovered that the line of the first reefing line here is turned on the sail here. That's why it goes so hard when I want to get into the first reef here. So it's basically going one time across itself. As a reward for the challenging night, the wind is finally back.
Good afternoon. Can we go to channel 10?
10 copy.
Good afternoon. We're just 3 miles on your, I presume, starboard side, and that's Jacob, I think, isn't it? My name's Tony, and I follow you on YouTube channel. You've recovered well from your the damage on your boat of Brest. Congratulations.
Thank you very much. What a coincidence to meet you, amazing. Are you coming from Britain?
No, just sailing down from Sable d'Olonne to Cascais, and we'll be in Cascais a bit later in the morning.
So sailing vessel, long story. Amazing. I think you're probably seeing this video now when you're watching my videos. What an amazing thing here. I was following you on the AIS here the whole time now. You're a bit faster actually than me. And you're somewhere over there. Yeah, can't see you visually. Oh, there you are. There. Amazing. Wow. The people you meet in sailing, just amazing. I feel like now, as the fight through the English Channel is finally a thing of the past, and we have crossed the Bay of Biscay, the real blue water cruising, which everyone talks about, where you meet people and experience amazing things, really starts now, so I'm very looking forward to that. I suddenly notice Wolf slowing down. One thought instantly shoots my head. Just when you thought it couldn't get better, I thought I saw something behind me, and don't know if you can see it on camera, but I got some fishing in around my keel, I guess. I'm still doing some good speed, but what do I do now? That is some long, I don't know what that is. It's like a net that's 10 meters long. Amazing. Luckily, Wolf is still sailing at around 3 knots, as we have still over 200 meters of water below our keel here and are just next to a 3000 meter deep sea ridge. That was the last thing I was expecting here. After thinking through my options, I decide to heave to. While doing that, the net, or whatever that is, lets go of the keel, but is now stuck in between the rudder blade and the hull. So I have no chance of getting it out from on board, and I have no other chance than actually physically going in the water. Okay, so I will try to get it off with that now from the stern. Okay, looks like we are free. So I got it here, and it looks like it is everything. So I basically got the bathing ladder down and was basically in the water until here, and hanging on the lifeline and grabbing onto everything I could behind there. I hope the rudder took no damage, because it was like just squished into the gap between the hull and the rudder, if that makes sense. That is the whole thing here. It is basically just a very, very long rope with that foam thingy here. After Wolf is finally free again, the last miles into Lisbon now await. We pass the Merlenga Island archipelago, a group of 3 islands known as famous diving spots. About 50 people live on the largest of the islands, which are a nature reserve area. From aboard Wolf, the rock formation sticking out of the oceans just looked absolutely impressive. After midnight, we pass Cabo da Roca, which marks the most westerly point of Europe's mainland. Now slowly the feeling and realization comes up that this is now really the last approach into an European port. It took longer than planned, but I'm glad that I've seen a bit of Europe on the way down here. After the wind dies down on the lee side of the cape, I turn Wolf's engine on and motor the last miles to port. In the moonlight, I spot fishing gear after fishing gear again, so I reduce the speed to 2 knots and try to spot the buoys from the bow. Don't know if you can see that, but I just switched the autopilot, jumped to the autopilot and switched it off here. Otherwise I would have went straight directly into it. And again, those fishing buoys are directly in the main harbor approach, where you definitely don't expect them in the dark here. That was the second time I jumped to the steering wheel and just smashed it around completely. Nearly went into that. That was a meter, if even that. I can't talk to the camera now, I really have to concentrate. After over an hour for the last 3 miles and several near misses, I finally maneuver Wolf into the marina of Cascais, where I fall into bed dead tired. The next day I get to see where I landed. You could call Cascais the Monaco of Portugal, and so are the marina prices with 40 euros a night. When you venture away from the luxury into the town center, you still get a feeling of its original character. Originally I wanted to sail directly into Lisbon last night, also the marina would have been a lot cheaper, but it was just way too risky with all those buoys, so I decided to take the train from Cascais to Lisbon. I stopped counting how many times I've already gotten offered weed. Hey, you speak Portuguese? No. You want some weed? No mate, thank you. The fire department is cutting down a branch of a tree here because tree resin is dropping down in the tables of the restaurant here. It is just amazing how open the people in Spain and Portugal are. Back at home in Germany or Austria you would mostly get weird looks from people when you walk around the city taking photos. Here it is hard to get a shot without some stranger waving into the camera.
Come on, let me go. You don't want me, baby, let me go. Let me ficar preso na buchão. You don't want me, baby, let me go. Let me go, let me know.
Okay, so a little update. There is absolutely no train going today anymore. Absolutely no train. So I'm basically stuck here in Lisbon. The train back to Cascais is on strike. Even the police officers here at the station don't really know what's going on. And after a lot of back and forth, I decide to walk the nearly 30 kilometers back to Cascais by foot. It is now just after midnight, so I should be back on Wolf somewhere in the morning. At least that's one thing I've learned in sailing until now. If things don't work out, you have to stay cool, take it with humor. Find a bit of fun in it, I don't know. And I have some good music here now, which will end soon because my phone is about to die. Okay, so I'm about halfway now and I found one of those fancy things. Oh, one of those scooters. Okay, so that is actually my first time riding such a thing. But it's amazing. We make the last 10 kilometers now on the scooter here. The last 10 kilometers are even fun, blasting along on the e-scooter, and just at morning dawn I'm finally back in the marina and fall into my bed, that tired. While I prepare Wolf for the long passage ahead, I get some visitors again, and also Tony, with which I chatted on the radio while sailing down here into Cascais.
My name's Tony and I follow you on YouTube channel.
And I don't know about the marina here, like Muros. I really miss Muros, to be honest, that little town. You knew the people there after 3 days from seeing them, and just the harbour master Pedro, which was an absolutely amazing guy, and it's such a friendly, amazing character, absolutely amazing. But here it is like everything at once, and it just has somehow no character. It is just so, I don't know, so shallow. It is like the Monaco of, I don't know, Portugal here. And there are Ferraris up there, Porsches, Mercedes, everything is, it is just absolute luxury here. But to be honest, I really don't like that anymore. Sailing has really changed my perspective on that. At least the expensive marina here is enough motivation to really keep my stay short here, and after 3 days and the last preparations finished, it is now finally time to take on the first big step. After starting in the Netherlands, fighting my way down the English Channel in wintertime and making my way along the European coast, the first major crossing now awaits. 700 nautical miles in 6 days from Portugal down to my first big goal on this journey, the Canary Islands. I'm now really venturing away from what I know until now, and the real adventure is just about to begin.